Hi, I'm Leah. Welcome to my podcast, China Liao Talks. In this podcast, I share honest and down-to-earth stories about life in China, covering everything from culture and work to language learning, all based on real experiences. Let's dive in. 大家好. Today's guest is Miracle from Nigeria. He has been studying Chinese in his home country and speaks fluently.Today, I will ask him about his motivation for language learning and how China has been influencing himself and his country. Miracle, can you briefly introduce yourself, maybe in Chinese, please?
好，大家好，我叫 Miracle， 就是我英文名字，然后我中文名字是奇迹，就直接翻译到中文。我今年28岁，然后目前我在拉各斯工作，就是拉各斯是在尼日利亚的西方，然后尼日利亚是在那个非洲的西部，对，然后我现在当行政助理，及翻译，对，在Green 可以看到这个
哦，对
Green 的那个公司，他们从事家用公用的那个空调，对。
那你换工作了？
我就业了，是的。
所以现在你在别的城市吗？
是在拉各斯，也是在拉各斯，就是中国企业在拉各斯的。
明白。哇，然后你说你现在做翻译嘛，中文翻译嘛？
是的，中文翻译。
哇，真的厉害！
我在努力，
哇，
我还在努力。
你在尼日利亚开始学中文，然后现在用中文工作啊，太厉害了！
是的。
That's amazing.
Thank you.
So we have been friends for a few years, and we met through social media.
是的。
And then I interviewed him once on Instagram Live and asking him his tips for language learning, language study.
Yeah.
And at other
我还记得那时候 I can still remember then. That was 2020, right?
Yes. 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that time you were still student, right?
Yes.
Yes. Wow, that's amazing.
我已经毕业了 I'm graduated now. I've graduated now. I'm a graduate now. 本科毕业的。
厉害 And remember that you studied Chinese.
不是专业，是保险。那时候专业是保险。对。然后我就想增加我的那个价值，然后去学中文。
哇 So today I am going to ask you your journey on studying Chinese and how far you have come for the recent years. And
Okay.
Yes. And so I am curious that how did you get interested in Chinese back in time?
Okay, so I remember I started learning Chinese. That was 2019 when I was in my year 3 studying my major, which was insurance. And I felt kind of stuck during those periods because I wasn't really getting any fulfillment from learning my major, which was insurance. So I decided to just learn Chinese as more like just to fulfill the gap that was missing. So I began to learn Chinese and I realized that, wow, that was a very good decision because it helped me to fill the little gaps that I was having when I was in University of Lagos. I then began to meet new different people that were also learning Chinese as well. Some of them have stopped learning while some of them are still learning and they are working now. So I started working, that was 2020. I got my first contract job 2020. And it was one of the reasons I continued because the job really gave me a lot. It gave me a lot of not only money, but it also gave me an opportunity, exposure. It gave me a lot of exposure. I was exposed to the corporate world while I was still studying, because I was still studying at the time. I had not yet graduated, right? So, but when I graduated, I started working with China Civil Engineering Construction Company as an office assistant and a Chinese translator. 是一个建筑公司，就是建筑企业。It really gave me the exposure I also needed at the time, which was 2021. I started working with ECC, and I worked there for like a year plus. It has been good so far, and it has been a journey so far. I'm grateful to God for pushing me the path, the Chinese language part, because it has made me to meet people that I wouldn't have necessarily met before. You know, it made me to meet people that are top rated, you know, in the society, both local, that's my people, and even foreigners, which is Chinese. Yeah.
Wow. So back in time, did you want to do something related to China, or you were just looking for a new language that you want to study?
So back in the time, I wasn't necessarily looking for any. I didn't really have that in mind. I just wanted to feel the void I was feeling, the gap I was feeling inside of me. And then it's just like when you're feeling very bored and you go play a game. So I was feeling a gap when I was in the University of Lagos, and I decided to do something new. And so I chose Chinese language. I didn't plan it before now, or before then I didn't plan it, but I just saw myself. I still say it's fate. I say it's fate. Last time you asked me this question, I said it was fate. So it's fate. It's destiny. You understand, Joshua?
Yeah. So you suddenly felt that, oh, maybe the Chinese language, like that.
Yeah. So you know, maybe Chinese is a good idea. You know, let's try it. And yeah.
Is that because like there like some Chinese people or Chinese company around you?
No. Then at the time, I didn't know any Chinese person. I didn't have any Chinese contacts at the time. It was more of wanting to do something new. And then, yes, in University of Lagos, we have an institute. It's called the Confucius Institute. 孔子学院，对，在拉各斯大学里面有那个孔子学院，然后我就去那边，对，我就随便去那边，然后when I just went there and I asked, okay, let me just try this out, and that was it.
Wow, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
So you decided to study Chinese, and then you also went to Confucius Institute.
Yeah. I learned in Confucius Institute for 2 years.
Oh, that's
a year and a half, and I began working.
Wow. Like while you are also studying for your university degree as well.
Yes.
Wow. That's really hard work.
I know.
Your teachers are Chinese or like local people who speak fluent Chinese?
Yes, they are Chinese locals that come down to Nigeria on a contract, and a long contract to teach
Chinese there.
Chinese, yes.
Wow.
Using English. So some of them, their English is good. Some of them, their English is Iban.
So when you first started studying Chinese, how was it? Because it's very different from English, right? English or your local language.
Yes, it was nice. It was good. It was, I don't know, it was challenging. It was full of a lot of challenges. You know, 中文有一句话叫万事开头难. Everything is hard when you start it. So yeah, it was. I felt a little bit of difficulty at first, mostly with the 声调, the tones. You know, but it was interesting because I had a desire. I had they call it what's the word now? 感兴趣. Just I had a desire to learn. So I think my fuel at the time was desire. was sheer desire to learn the language, and then I did.
Wow. What was the most challenging part when you studied Chinese?
That's a very good question. So the most challenging part when studying Chinese is, I think the most challenging part is the characters.
Oh.
Yes, the characters. And I say this, some people do not find this challenging, but some others would find it challenging, which is the tones. The tones, recognizing the tones and remembering them and speaking them. So two things I found a bit challenging. One is the characters, recognizing characters when I'm reading or when I see Chinese in my textbook. And then the second thing is the tones, pronouncing things well. You know, at the time I used to focus on grammar, but I realized that was not a good thing, because when you're learning Chinese at first, as a new learner, you don't focus too much on grammar. What you focus more on is the vocabulary and the pronunciation and understanding characters. Those three things: the characters, the pronunciation, and your vocabulary. You must have you need to have more vocabulary, like they call it 词汇量. Your 词汇量 supposed to be 高, like much. So, and then those words, you need to understand how to pronounce them properly, or else other people will not understand what you're saying. So the things I found more challenging was the characters and pronunciation.
That's very interesting, because I'm Japanese, right? Japanese language also has Hanzi character, and it's very similar to the Chinese one. It's not completely the same, but it's similar. For me, when I study Chinese, remembering Hanzi is not as difficult as doing the pronunciation or tone. Other Japanese Chinese learners say the same. So they can read when they see the characters and they understand the meaning. They just don't know how to pronounce it.
Pronounce properly.
And because Japanese people are very shy, so many people are not really good at speaking or pronouncing in the proper tones.
是的。
对。
还有一个，我觉得就是给我就是条件感的那就是说就是 speaking. So I think pronunciation and speaking, they have a connection.
Yes.
So a lot of people, they are always afraid to speak because they won't pronounce words rightly, or they would not speak properly. So my challenge when I was learning Chinese, it's still a challenge. It's still a challenge. Is speaking fluently without 你说卡住 that kind of thing, but speaking fluently, 流利. So I think it's also a challenge.
Especially when you are not in an environment where you can use Chinese all the time.
Exactly.
Your chance is limited, right? When you are in your home country.
Yes. But you just have to find a way. When there's a will, there's a way.
So as a way, like what did you do?
One of the things that really helped me was I did a lot of first-hand experience. What I mean by first-hand experience is I went out, got a work, got a job. I didn't really know so much like I do now, but I knew enough. You don't have to know so much. You have to know enough. You have to know at least the basics. You have to know to, let's say, I think with HSK3, you can begin working. HSK3, HSK4, you can begin working. Only that when you are coming to work with HSK3, you might not really get the kind of jobs that would pay you so much. But that is a very good exchange for experience. So I got a job. I started working with Chinese. So that environment was good for me to improve my speaking, my confidence. Another thing I did then was I did a lot of 跟读模仿. It's like a kind of imitation，跟着中国人，然后模仿他们的，就是找一个，比如 like a YouTube video，然后比较简单的，然后跟读模仿他们在说，就跟着他们，it will help a lot with your fluency. You know, and then another thing I did, which was also very good, was 自言自语的那种练习，自言自语 just like talking to myself, you know, trying to talk to myself and okay, if I'm working, I can try to say some things around my environment in my target language, or I can make a video of myself and speak to the video. Yes, I remember also when I'm reading, I take 分级系列读物, you know, like graded readers. It's called graded readers. You can find some on 微信读书, WeChat Read. You can find those. I can recommend one which is 潘以峰. You can find some of those graded readers and then you read.
So you said that to practice, you did talking to yourself.
Yes, I did such reading aloud, 朗读，然后跟读模仿 and imitation. I did that too. It's called shadowing.
Shadowing.
It's called shadowing. Yeah.
Yes. Is there any particular person or people that you always模仿?
Oh yes, most especially Tea Time Chinese. 茶歇中文. He has a lot of materials. He focuses on history, topics on history. I love history, so I preferred most of his material. He uses very simple ways, simple words and phrases to express very difficult topics. I really enjoyed his materials. You can check him out on YouTube. Tea Time Chinese, 茶歇中文.
How? So when you are working for a Chinese company, your co-workers are Chinese, right?
Yes, they are.
So that means you have to talk to them in Chinese.
Yes, exactly.
I believe that strengthens you a lot, stretches you a lot.
Yes, exactly. Yes, that was really challenging. So that's why I said I went to get first-hand experience. It's one of the things that helped me to 克服 the 没有中文的那个环境. So I had to go and find the environment by getting a job where I can interact firsthand with Chinese people.
You are very brave, I think.
You can say.
Did they also understand English? Like, when it comes to you, that it's very difficult for me to discuss this situation in Chinese, so I might have to switch to English. Or did you always have to communicate with them in Chinese, like 100%?
So at the time, because my position did not require me to have so much knowledge on Chinese as an office assistant. So I did have to communicate with them most of the time, let's say 80% of the time in Chinese, because it's just very simple, you know, communication, simple conversations, you know, nothing so complex, right? So, but most of the time they used Chinese to speak to us. So they used, because their English was not so good. Most of the bosses I worked with, their English was not so good, because if it was so good, then why would they need me there? So that was the thing that gave us translators value, you know, and they needed us to be there so that in case there is a need to communicate with other staff that are local, they will reach out to us and then we would help them to communicate, because even though we did not know how to speak fluently, we were able to hear what they were saying and then translate to the locals, that's the local staff.
Wow, that's a very great opportunity for you.
Yes, it's a good learning opportunity, yes.
So your first full-time job is the company, like, you know, Chinese company that requires you to use Chinese.
Yes, it was.
Wow. And then you still use your Chinese language for work. at your new position in your new company.
Yes,
Wow.
I do. Correct.
Oh, that's amazing. I also remember you saying that more and more Chinese companies are entering into the Nigerian market, right?
Yes, true.
So that means the influence of China is increasing in your home country, right?
Yes, a lot.
I'm curious that how are Chinese companies influencing your country today? What's the difference now and then?
Okay. Thank you very much. So, based on my little research, Chinese and African relationship, more Nigerian relationship, Chinese and Nigerian partnership started since as early as 1970s in Nigeria. Although, yes, things have improved a lot, but it started first in the 1970s when there were interactions with the Chinese foreigners and the Nigerian government. So far, even recently, there have been some investment commitments. There was a news published by the Punch newspaper how that the Nigeria secured over 20 billion investment commission, $20 billion, of investment commitment from Chinese firms. This was a report by Joseph Tegbe. He's the Director General of the Nigeria-China Strategic Partnership. He's the Director General, and he's a Nigerian. So why am I saying all of this? I'm saying this because this wouldn't have been possible if they were not a relationship long time now. So in fact, the areas, the places you see Chinese companies more are in the mining, agriculture, automobile, steel, and the energy sector, and also the construction sector. Even now, there are companies, Chinese companies that are coming to Nigeria in the oil and gas, telecom, and manufacturing industry sectors. Yes, so there's a lot, like major, and I'm talking from personal experience because I've worked in a construction company, which is China Civil Engineering Construction Company before. It is owned by the Chinese. Even the banking sector now has one of the leading, fast-growing banking companies, banking and finance companies in Nigeria is owned by the Chinese, which is PoundPay and OPay. Those two companies, they are all Chinese firms. Although yes, significantly run by some Nigerians, right, as employees, but majorly, it's owned by the Chinese. So this has really caused a lot of improvements in our economy in Nigeria, and I would say it has also brought in a lot of foreigners. I mean, majorly Chinese, down to invest more in other areas because for example, if let's say Oraimo, I don't know if you know Oraimo, it has to do with RT Pimpai. If long time now, when Oraimo came into the market, they did some research and they came in and they were successful. So they really were successful. Their products gained high level of acceptance in Nigeria, even till now. Now, with this record, the other investors in China will be like, wow. So if Oraimo can do this, if PoundPay can do this, if OPay can do this, if Gree, the company I work in, can do this, then I can do this too. I have to come down and do some kind of research, market research, and know, okay, what areas I can invest in. That is one of the things that made a lot of Chinese companies to come down, to have their branch. It's not like some of these Chinese companies are not just starting. Some are starting some Chinese began their businesses in Nigeria, while some just came to establish a branch here in Nigeria. So all of these things kind of have so much impact on Nigeria in terms of job creation. It created a lot of jobs for the Nigerians, right? And then also it's helped our GDP. So, and I would say it gave our tourism an opportunity to develop, because even our real estate also, it gave our real estate the opportunity to develop beyond what it could have if they were not foreign Chinese investors coming down to Nigeria. So two sectors that really enjoyed the increase in Chinese in Chinese investors are the real estate, and also the energy sector. The energy sector really got the impact of their coming into Nigeria. So yeah, I can say it has been for good, even though yes, there are other ugly ordeals that I would, if I'm given the opportunity, I'll talk about. That's the other aspect, the white truth of the coming of these foreigners into our space, our country. Yeah.
It sounds like Chinese companies help you guys a lot to create the new job opportunities for the local people.
Yeah, I would say it's a mutual help, because they are also getting something in return. An investor is not an investor unless whatever he invests, he looks for a way to get it back. Is what we call the ROI, the return on investment, right? So no investor just wants to invest and then nothing comes out of it. So most of these investors, these Chinese investors, they are visionary, in their leadership, because of what they know, the gold they are seeing in this economy, in this country. So they are coming to establish, they are coming to set up branches and all of that. So yeah. So it's a mutual relationship, it's a mutual partnership.
Probably the local people are happier than before because more jobs, better economics.
Yeah, of course, because our government is not really doing so much in terms of creating jobs and creating opportunities and training its citizens to be better. So some of these private companies owned by Chinese are doing better than what the government would have actually done if it was only them. I'm not saying our government is not doing anything. I'm just saying that with the influx of Chinese companies and Chinese investors in Nigeria, the government, it has relieved them of the pressure.
So the Chinese companies' influence is a lot bigger than probably.
Yes,
so people now has a reason for studying Chinese because then there'll be more job opportunities, right?
Yes. More job opportunities and better paying job opportunities. 比较高点的工资。
明白了。外资工资generally speaking, they pay better than the local companies.
Yes, true. Although I would say 的那些公司，他们的工资比较高，但是 the only way you would tend to earn more is when you work more in these companies.
Oh, yes.
So it's when you work more and your value is felt. So if not, I don't think you would really enjoy working with foreign companies. Two things. If you're able to work more, and secondly, if you have a high skill, high value skill. So that's the only way you can earn more in these foreign private companies.
That means you have more pressure. 压力也大了嘛。
Yes.
In Japan, it's the same. Usually the foreign companies, especially the Chinese one, 压力更大了。
更大了，是的。
更大了。工资也高了。
Yes, true. So you work for more hours, you get more pay, or you have a high skill that is well sought after, and then you get more pay, just like the tech guys or the cybersecurity guys, or maybe the engineers, oil and gas engineers. Those are the people that really get paid more in foreign firms.
Yeah, IT people usually get better salary in other countries too.
Sure.
After you started studying Chinese, how your image towards China and Chinese people has changed?
Oh, that's a very beautiful question. So I have a lot to say about this because I've had first-hand experience working with Chinese companies. This is going to be my close to 3 years working in different Chinese companies, not just one particular company. I worked in CCECC for a year and a half, going to 2 years, and I worked in 调研公司 for半年 for like years, and then I worked also in an oil and gas firm for more like a short-term contract, and I worked there for close to up to 6+ months. So these are all Chinese companies. Then yes, I also worked in companies where I just worked for like a month. I had to leave because I didn't like the way things were done. To answer your question, my image of Chinese and their companies and their corporations here in Nigeria is mixed. It's mixed. It's mixed. Yes, it's mixed. What I mean by mixed is there are some Chinese firms that are well structured. Well, there are other Chinese firms that are not structured at all. I'm speaking about some Chinese companies here in Nigeria. So it's mixed. So while there are some companies here in Nigeria that are well structured, well structured, yes. Like the company I work with currently, we work from Mondays to Fridays. It's a fixed timing system, 8 to 5. If you work overtime, you get paid for overtime work, and there is even allowances for some of our staffs for feeding and some other travel expenses. So it's a very well-structured company with benefits like Yang Lao Jin, HMO, health, 健康保险, and even 13th month salary, advance payment, that kind of thing. You might not really understand that, but yeah, it's a benefit here in our country. It's quite comfortable. It's not so much workload. You're just working every day, and yes, there are companies like that where there's some Chinese companies that you get to work from Monday to Saturday, even Sunday. Yes, 一直在工作，没有休息，就一直努力，一直工作。There's no social work-life balance. There's nothing like that. There are companies here in Nigeria, they operate with such a very backward working system. And because some of our citizens want to find something to eat, so they don't have a choice. Some laborers don't have anything to eat. They are poor. So they do that kind of work. There are labor laws in Nigeria, but it's not functioning like that. What I mean by it's not functioning like that is that the government are not enforcing those laws, those labor laws on some of these Chinese companies. Some Chinese companies adhere to these labor laws, while some other Chinese companies do not adhere. So that's the reason why I said I have a mixed feeling. Mixed image about Chinese companies, because some Chinese companies are adhering to some of these labor laws, while some of the other Chinese firms are not adhering at all to these labor laws. I'm also sorry for how we Nigerians sometimes we treat the Chinese in such a way that makes them to kind of look down on us. It's not all of us that is that way. It's not all of us that don't have integrity. Some of us have integrity. We uphold justice and righteousness in such a way that we don't do things like that. We are satisfied with what we have. We're not greedy.
So many kinds of Chinese people, many kinds of Chinese companies, right? Some are good, some are not good.
Yes, some are good, Some are average, some are totally bad working conditions and also bad working system. While some are very good and they treat their workers and employees like human beings, not slaves.
So it's very different, depends on the environment. So it's really hard to just say just because it's Chinese or Chinese company.
Exactly. I can't do that. I can't stereotype. One of the mistakes I see even Chinese people make is this stereotype. It's called 刻板印象. They have this stereotype about we Nigerians, and we also have stereotypes about them. But I do not do that. I don't operate that way. So I relate with people individually. I'm more of a 现实主义者，还有我也是乐观主义者。对，就是有平衡。Yes, so I'm a realist and I'm also an optimist. Yeah.
Would you still recommend other Nigerian people to learn Chinese?
Of course. Oh. Chinese is one of the world's most difficult languages. It's one of the top five. It's one of the top five world's most difficult languages to learn. So it opens you up to opportunities that you probably would not have had if you did not know the language. So I recommend 100% for my fellow Nigerians to learn Chinese because it opens you up to a lot of opportunities that you would not have necessarily had before. So I recommend anytime, any day.
Because you have also got the opportunity that you have because of the language skill, right? Chinese language.
Exactly. And the beautiful part is that some of these work opportunities that you get, it's not just only work opportunities. You get to meet people. You get to engage with the world in a different way. You get to have access to the people's hearts that you wouldn't have been able to have before. When I know your life, just imagine I know how to speak. Really, you don't even need to know me before you think I'm part of you, your own person. That is how Chinese is. Once I've experienced situations whereby just me speaking or saying 你好,你叫什么,你贵姓,你我怎么称呼你,这些表达,然后他们就你会讲中文, So and their heart opens up to me. It's a good way to have access to the world by learning the language because there are lots of people that speak Chinese.
Yes.
Funny enough, if you check Google and check the amount of people that speak Chinese, billions. So learning a language like Chinese would definitely open you up to the world and give you better opportunities that you won't. Even a wife can even give you a wife.
Yes. Agree. By learning the new language. I remember that you used to join my online language exchange, right?
Yes.
And some Japanese didn't speak English, but they speak Chinese. So you could communicate with them using Chinese.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, that was a very memorable moment for me because I originally started that language exchange just for Chinese and Japanese speaking people. And then you and some of your friends started joining the group.
Yeah.
And you were able to communicate with the Chinese-speaking Japanese people.
Yes.
That also gave me a new perspective, actually.
Yeah. I thank you so much for creating such a very wonderful platform to, meet people and communicate. That platform was really helpful and was a motivation for me because I had to wake up very early because of the time difference. I woke up very early.
So sorry about that.
No problem. It's one of those things that have brought me where I am currently.
It's good. I hope that I can start online language exchange again in the near future.
I would definitely be one of your participants.
Thank you. Lastly, I would like to ask you that do you have any message that you would like to share with our listeners?
Yes, I have a message. I'm not going to say the road is smooth. You won't face discouraging experiences. You won't meet people that would discourage you. You won't meet people that would probably hate on you. I mean, even Chinese people. I'm not going to say that you won't meet those set of people because I've met them in the course of my language journey. But what I would say is that do not focus on those things. 完全不要在乎那些不好的情况，不要在乎，你要专心那些比较好的情况。在学习的过程中 in the learning process, in the learning journey, you have to be more conscious and mindful of the good stories. Don't listen, don't focus on the bad news or the stories. You'll surely hear bad news. You'll surely hear bad stories about the experiences people faced working in Chinese companies or working in Chinese firms. You'll surely hear such bad stories, but do not focus or put your attention on it because it's going to affect two things. One is your desire to learn and master the language. Two, it's going to affect your mindset because in acquiring anything, mindset is very important. You have to have the right mindset. You don't want your mindset to be affected. You don't want your desire to be affected. So you want to have the right desire. You want to have the right mindset when you're learning and when you're... So I would definitely recommend people to keep learning, to keep improving. But I would say they should not mind the bad stories, the bad experiences from other people. They should focus on their own part, yes. Focus on your part to achieving success. The story of another person might not be the same thing for you. So just imagine if you listen to people's story. There were lots of people that became successful in life that other people told them they would not. There is this man, I know you will know him. He's the owner of Alibaba, Jack Ma, yes. So he was rejected in different places when he was coming up in his journey. But he was persistent. He was focused. He didn't listen to the naysayers. He didn't listen to the people that were saying, you will not get, you will not make it, you will not do this, you will not do that. But look at him, he's one of the richest Chinese in the world. So that is what I would advise people. Focus on your path and trust your instincts. If your instincts have told you, okay, start learning this language, trust it because you don't know what is coming in the future. So that's my advice to you guys out there. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for listening. I will keep sharing real stories that show what China is really like. Follow the show and stay tuned. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to send me a message. See you next time. 下次见。